you know, you did a old school humble brag, right? Like basically printed it out and put it on your window. And that's why I kind of wanted to just chat about that, man. Maybe you could sort of just give a replay of, what you did and, maybe what the realtors did when they approached you, how you engaged with the realtors as they asked you about that, and just kind of tell people what you did on that end.
Yeah, so a little background. I'm the in-house LO for a real estate company here in San Diego called Foster Hamilton Real Estate. My office is like smack dab in the middle of the office. I've got a nice little window so I can see out of it. On a typical day we'll have anywhere from 5, 6, 7 agents kind of come through here. The regulars. I've been posting on the Facebook groups for our company's Facebook group for a little while, San Diego Realtors, Chula Vista Realtors for a while. I wasn't really getting much traction, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I've got 6 or 7 agents in the office regularly. I've got prime real estate in this office. I'm just gonna just print out my results and just be I did it old school, the old Got Milk commercial. It's instead of got milk, it's got leads, and just plain black and white. I posted it up and was average cost per lead, Zillow, 70 or whatever, just talking to my realtors what they were paying. And then I showed mine where it was $1.30 something on there. And I just posted it just on my little window and just waited for something to happen. And people are walking by all the time, so people would see it, and then eventually someone would stop by and be like, tell me a little bit about this, tell me what are you doing here, how are you getting these leads, how can I get a part of that. One of my agents, and that's pretty much how the conversation started. It was cool because I'd been trying to go out of my way a lot to try to get meetings with these realtors, and instead they started coming to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool, man. That you decided to do that, you kind of, you do a lot of I don't really like the phrase outside of the box necessarily, but you already do a lot of that kind of thing, with some of your video marketing and some of the different stuff that you're doing. So that's pretty cool. So when the people, when the people would come to you and they would say, hey, what is this, what are you doing or what's going on here? How would you take that what would you do in that conversation?
I would just tell them, look, I'm running Facebook ads, I've found a lot of success. I've done a lot of time. I've joined a mastermind group, which obviously is you guys, to try to get better at this. And I didn't want to post anything about this until I knew I was getting solid results. So this was one of the first campaigns where I was having just massive results from it. So from there, it depends. Some people don't really understand marketing that well. Some were a little bit more high level. So I kind of tailor the conversation towards that. Usually I just try to ask my realtors, what are you doing? Where are you spending your money? How is that working for you? I'm trying to figure out where their pain points are with their marketing. That way I can just reverse engineer the conversation from there. One was saying, she was spending $800 a month for 2 zip codes on Zillow, and I was like, that's outrageous. How many leads are you getting? And she was like, honestly, maybe 4 or 5 leads. And she told me about these leads before. They were manufactured loans and all this other bullshit. So I was like, no, let's fix that. Let's try something out this week. Do you have a listing? And she's like, yeah, I've got a listing. I was like, perfect. Let's run this ad. Let's see how it goes. Within the first hour, she had 5 leads pop through. On average, we were averaging 8 or 9 leads a day. It just kept on popping. So she started telling all the other realtors in the office about it too. So that helped get more attention with me putting in basically minimal effort for stuff that I was already doing.
Right, makes sense. So would you try to, if they with that lady there where she's spending $800, is your goal to help basically just try to take some of that budget and run Facebook ads with it, or is that what you're trying to do?
Essentially, I'm just fighting for market share of what they're doing as far as their leads are concerned. Okay. Some are already running Facebook ads to minimal success because they think boosting is the same as running a Facebook ad, so that's always funny. But other than that, I'd eventually want to get to the point where they're so confident in what I'm doing, and I just have just this trail of results for realtors that they're running their entire marketing budgets. One of them is already doing that. They were only spending, $200-$300 a month on ads. On like Zillow, they weren't getting jack shit. So I was like, let's do it on Facebook and let's see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You get the same results as Zillow. So we ended up doing it, and we're getting way better results, obviously, because the cost per result is way cheaper there. And what's great is it's helped me too, because I've been running these ads for myself, having to do all the follow-up. Now these realtors who I'm running the leads for, they're doing all the follow-up for me because that's what they love to do anyways. So I'm just sitting back and awesome. They're booking my pre-qual appointments for me with minimal effort on my end. I'll still follow up with them, sure, but I think I'm working half as hard and getting twice the results.
Right. Yeah, I know. So yeah, man, it's awesome that just kind of watching what you've done. I know one of the things that seems like you're doing better than almost everybody else in our group right now is in getting those pre-booked appointments. Like, can you kind of touch on that? Of like, what do you teach the realtors to do in terms of getting you appointments, or what are you doing for your own follow-up to get those pre-booked appointments?
Yeah. So on the realtors' end, since most of them are just running through, the listings, or if we're just hijacking another agent's listing from the office so that we can get them some buyers. I'm always just, asking them to reach out to them, see, how soon are they actually in the market. If it's within 3 to 6 months, okay, let's book an appointment. A little thing, because most agents don't really have a script. They just kind of blind call. I always tell them, the owner is asking if you want to book a showing, because the showing's a little bit less invasive as getting pre-qualified. It's like, hey, do you want to take a look at this house? Great. What day do you want to look at it? Okay, perfect. Before we have to take a look at the house, the owner is asking that everyone who takes a look at the house is already pre-qualified. Have you been pre-qualified yet? No? Great. Here's a link to go ahead and schedule a pre-qualification with my loan officer. Done.
No, that's perfect.
Just super simple, super vanilla. Make sure that the conversation never goes off track.
Of how you posted the got milk ad in your office, and
yeah.
some of your call times, and kind of how you're doing the follow-up pieces. So yeah, thanks again for sharing some of that.
Yeah, you bet, guys. And if anyone needs anything, I share all my best stuff on Facebook, on video, so feel free to hit me up, slide in the DMs if you want anything.
Awesome. All right, man, appreciate it. We'll talk to you later on.
All right, see you later, Nick.
See ya.
Bye.